Hi, we're the Shipping Forecast, and this is our new YouTube series called Behind the Song, where we're going to give you a little bit of an insight into how we write our music, produce our music, and kind of what goes into the sort of things that we do as a band. So to introduce myself, my name's Imi, and I'm the backing vocalist and the photographer for the Shipping Forecast. I do all the
spokesperson.
Yes, spokesperson. And the editing of all the photos. And I am joined here today with the creative mind behind the Shipping Forecast, Benjamin, known as Benji to me. Benjamin. So, would you like to go into a bit of detail about what we're going to be talking about today, what single we're going to be focusing on, and then we'll get into it?
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about Home for the Found today. It's our new single. It's coming out, well, no, it'll be out by this point actually, on maybe the 22nd of January. I actually don't know, but I think it's if there's a Friday around then, it's about right. I'm just going to be discussing really why I wrote it, how I wrote it, the various sort of phases that it went through, and anything else that anyone wants to know.
So we spend quite a lot of time together, but there are parts of the process that I don't see or I'm not really as involved in.
Yeah, you're not there for the neurotic part.
No, not for the crazy parts. I only hear about them either on the phone or I walk into them.
Or you can just sort of tell.
Yeah, into our home studios, which we've called Nook Studios, and we have a little sign on the door. I walk in to it being very warm and an extremely large and hot pedal board making lots of noises. So my first question, I think, for Home for the Found is, where did you come up with the idea? How did it come about, that particular song?
It's a good question. I'm just trying to remember. Well, Home for the Found was a funny one. I seem to write songs in batches. And there's a song that's actually the single after Home for the Found that I don't think we've revealed the name for yet, so I won't say what it is. But I was writing that one, and that one came together really fast. And then I thought, well, I'll just keep going because it seems to be working. So I just started with this, and it was kind of crap, to be honest. This like really crappy little riff on the guitar, which isn't even in the song anymore. But then that inspired me. It sort of sounded a bit like Toy Town, like Toy Story. And then it just sort of made me think about home.
Because you start off a lot of your songs on acoustic, and I kid you not, he has about how many voice memos?
About 8 gigs worth
of voice memos, and they're all like
shit.
And they're all called the same thing.
They're all called New Song 9,
New Song 10, New Song 2005.
Listen Now.
Yeah, Listen Now. Yeah, so with that one, I remember a little bit where you came up for it, I think I remember you playing it to me down the phone, but it sounds completely different. All of your songs always sound different. So at what point do you have the initial idea, and then does it shape itself into the song that comes out eventually, or is it a bit of a longer process and it just kind of happening one day and it's like all of a sudden it's the song it is now?
What really ends up happening is the choice ends up getting taken away from you. It's like there's only really one thing that it can do. So even though it's probably like not really what you meant to say, but it's quite easy once you've got the general gist of what you're trying to do. It kind of just sort of falls into place because there's only so many directions you can go in, and often there's really only one choice. So it's not, once you've kind of got the actual idea of the song down, really it's just I don't want to say like a mechanical process, but it is a bit of a mechanical process in the sense that you're like, right, well, I know what I'm doing. I know the song kind of gets its identity and it sort of imprints itself in your brain. And you're like, right, well, it's that thing. And it's not necessarily like happy. It's sort of like I don't know, it's like its own sort of unique fingerprint. And then you just kind of know what that is and you just sort of chase that feeling. But then I guess it's a bit unusual in the way that, well, it's not unusual, but I kind of recorded sort of semi in between kind of like a demo and a real song, and then we take it to Marks, who's our producer / engineer, and then the songs change again, so they end up going through like 3 different vetting processes. It's like the initial one where I'm playing it on acoustic, and then I listen to it, I'm like, no, that's crap, so we get rid of that. Then I record it in our little studio upstairs, and then I think that's actually really good, and then I end up taking it to Mark, and then I'm like, oh, actually no, it's pretty crap. And then by the end of it, then we re-record a few bits and bobs. I didn't record any acoustics here because it's too noisy. And then it ends up sounding like nothing really. Well, it does. It has the same essence, but it's like it's a little bit like distilling. It's a bit like making alcohol. Like, you know, you start with like something that's like beer, and then by the end of it, hopefully you end up with something like vodka. Like the concentration of the idea gets stronger. Saying that, I don't drink, so I don't know.
No, we have
I used to
sober
drink.
purpose. So is there a part of the song that has stuck through from the very beginning to the very end? Is there like an element of it that stayed exactly the same?
The melodies almost always stay pretty much the same.
Yeah, that's true.
But then I end up tweaking little bits and bobs if I feel like, when we've added all the bells and whistles, and it's all about keeping it interesting and not. I'm kind of harsh on myself, where I'm like, am I getting bored? Yeah, I'm getting bored, so something needs to change. Because if I'm getting bored, then the person listening definitely will be getting bored. Or maybe not. I don't know if that's actually true. Maybe I'm more likely to get bored because I've listened to it 5,000 times. I'm trying to think of anything that the structure never really changes, but the what's it called, the definition of the structure changes. Like I'll sort of like have, there will be like clear verses and choruses, but then what Mark sort of it always seems to happen is those sections seem to become more defined. Like I was saying before, it's basically turning beer into vodka. It's a really terrible analogy, but it does kind of work.
Yeah. It's like a nice coffee filter.
It is.
Filters the beans, makes something lovely.
Yeah. I don't really understand that, but yeah.
Neither do I. I'm trying to think of something else.
Well, I mean, do you know what... Is there anything in the song that, even though you've... Obviously, you know me, and quite obviously the song's a love song, about finding your home. But is there any lines in it or anything like that that you don't understand? Because of all people, I should.
I should.
It's actually about you.
If we haven't mentioned before, we're in a relationship.
Then it's about you.
We have been for 8 years.
It's sort of a gauge of how successful I was in making it obvious.
No, it was obvious, but I think the good thing about it is it's not specific to one type of love or situation. Yeah. So I think lots of other people will be able to.
Yeah, it wouldn't necessarily need to be a romance.
Not all of it is necessarily romantic, I don't think. And like, it could be about a friend you really love, or someone in your family.
Could be, I guess.
There's parts of it that I think people could.
I think the fact that it's a duet though makes it sort of a bit like that.
And the rest of this EP is more like,
yeah, the
other
last two songs that we literally wrote like
how did that
a week ago.
How did that happen? How did it go from the last EP, which is called Becoming Cyclonic?
Yeah.
It's on Spotify.
Buy it on vinyl.
Buy it on vinyl.
Please, because we make no money.
No, we don't.
Really need to make some money at some point.
But how did you get from there to an album of, well, an EP of love songs and some pretty cool duets we've got coming, actually?
Let's be honest, like, that's one thing we're slightly worried about.
We are a little
because when I wrote the first, I think, to be honest with you, it's more just a state of mind. I'm a lot calmer than I was then, believe it or not.
Yeah, because you started writing some of the stuff on the old EP a long time ago.
Yeah, one of the tunes, the Clown was written, off the first one was written like, I don't know, 2 years ago or something, which was kind of mad. But I think, well, I'd just come out of Glassheads, which was my old band, and that was sort of very, well, not very heavy, but it was definitely rock-minded. So I thought, but they never really wanted to make it super heavy. So I thought, right, I'll start my own thing and make it super heavy, because I kind of always wanted to.
You had it inside you to
so
do it.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know, someone put it in one of the blogs or something that wrote, it's like I feel like I've almost freed myself of the heavy music now. I don't really feel the need to be so aggressive. Yeah, because
we listen to a lot of music, especially we do a lot of driving.
Well, that's the thing, is
we don't listen to that sort of stuff,
I don't really listen to music like the first EP. I listen to more music like this one, second EP. But yeah, I don't know, and that's one thing that maybe we might lose fans over, because we've been building something around this heavy world, and we are totally moving in another direction. But I feel there's like a common thread of truth.
Yes.
Which I find is kind of hard to be truthful to how you really feel if you're confined to literally one genre. To me, the move doesn't seem anywhere near as drastic as it sounds when you listen to it. But
what would you call this new style then?
I guess it's going to be way more commercially viable, hopefully. And it's like, I don't know, indie folk. I would assume it's probably indie folk. But then I've got my weird pedals that are still, you can hear them in the background. So there's still a lot of electric on it.
Yeah.
But
is there a sound that is kind of present throughout this EP, not just in Home for the Found, but it's
there's a sound that's present across the whole, all of the music, and it is those unusual Chase Bliss pedals that just make everything sound cool. And that I'm hoping between that and my voice, maybe we'll tie them together a little bit. But I mean, to me, I don't know, the EP probably isn't as heavy. The previous EP, Becoming Cyclonic, isn't as heavy as maybe this is portraying it to be. It's not like a death metal record. It's just sort of like a really epic, overdriven very guitar, cinematic, big drums thing. And I think maybe the approach to the music that we're doing now is the same. Like I said, we're post rock. We weren't really post rock. It was more like had a post rock approach, but it didn't sound very post rocky. Apart from The Truth About Love, the very first one, that sounded incredibly like.
Because we tried to target it towards a post-rock audience. It wasn't working, and we were really confused.
It was the closest one.
Why aren't we making any headway here? And when we kind of walked away from that and kind of branched out a little bit more into like kind of the Radiohead sound.
Yeah, we're not really fit very cleanly into anything. We're not even like Radiohead either. It's.
No. Do you think this EP?
I think this EP is a lot more accessible. I think someone who likes Novo or more.
Yes.
Or like Bon Iver. Or
there's a lot of really nice sort of harmonies and sort
there's
of
some nice harmonies. Even someone who likes maybe Slow Dive, which is like a bit more like the other stuff, and like Wipeout in particular. That's not far away at all from not as far anyway.
No.
I don't think it's as far really as I've just said it is. But yeah, it's a nice EP. The one that and it is all written, believe it or not, which is probably a bit OCD. Because I've only just released the first one.
It's the way we work.
If I get bored if I'm not doing something.
That's true.
So, and it sounds coherent, and I personally feel that the way that this EP and these songs sound is closer.
Yeah.
Closer because well, it's not a secret. Well, it is a secret because no one knows who I am. But I'm not a traditional vocalist in the sense that my voice, to be honest, is a bit crap, I think, at times. But I've got better at singing as I've been doing all of this stuff, so I've been more confident just to go in. You might have just noticed it cut really badly. That's because the stupid memory card thing corrupted itself.
It did.
But I think what I was saying was something on the lines of that I wanted to do something entirely different with the new EP and scrap the 12 double track rhythm guitars and all that and make it really about my voice opposed to it being about the epicness. And I think by doing that, in some respects, this music's pretty epic. Yeah. In a different way. It sounds a bit like... in fact, no, I won't say what it sounds a bit like because once I say it, you'll think I ripped it off. Because I think I kind of ripped it off, and I don't want to get copyrighted.
I ruin it all the time for you. Like, there's a song that's on this EP that is the next one to come out after Home for the Found, and there is a specific chord in it, and every time it comes on,
is it?
I say,
"Oh yeah, that one, yeah, that was."
It's not a rip off. It's just that particular chord, and it makes me
from Thursday. Yeah,
I ruin your life every single time you bring out a new song, and I go, "Ooh, that sounds like this from this."
Make you laugh.
And we can't not hear it then.
So, can you remember what you said in the previous take?
No.
Do you want me to remind you?
Yeah.
This is really professional.
This is super professional.
You asked me what was constant throughout, the first EP and the second EP.
Yeah, so what is...
I'm now asking myself the question.
Yes, he is asking himself the question. It was a good question as well.
It is a good question.
What was carried over between the two EPs? Because they are very different.
Obviously my voice.
They sound very different. But there are some.
I do think, to be fair, that the main vocals, really, if the genre changes but the voice is the same, it kind of ties it together. You know, lots and lots of. I mean, like Fleetwood Mac changed, like
Arctic Monkeys changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
Between AM and now.
Yeah, exactly. So there are loads of people.
We're not saying we're like the Arctic Monkeys or Fleetwood Mac, by the way. That is not
more like Fleetwood Mac than the Arctic Monkeys, but we're nowhere near as good as that. No. But yeah, it's true, isn't it? You know, like you can change genres, but if you've got the same singer, it kind of ties it.
Yeah, it brings it together.
It ties it together. So I guess that's probably the main thing. But as well, the ambient guitar thing, even though it's not as loud in the mix in this one, it's still there.
Yeah.
It's just a bit more buried. It gave me the chance to.
Not. The voice is a lot
and the voice
bigger.
is much higher in the mix, which was sort of terrifying, but.
I think it's worked out really well.
It's
made some room for something new and something.
Yeah, I won't lie, we did use Melodyne.
Oh, yeah, of course
but who the hell doesn't? And we didn't actually have to use it that much, to be fair.
No, we didn't.
In all truthfulness.
It was a big investment, and then we were like, oh, actually.
Yeah, I know. What a rip-off that thing is, the flipping Pro one.
Yeah.
I don't think Melodyne would be watching this, but if you are, you need to knock 200-300 quid off.
It's very expensive,
price.
Especially for little guys like us.
400 quid or something.
Little guys like us, we want to sound good too.
I know.
And it's just very expensive.
It's outrageous. We did do a bit of that, and it gave me a chance to do finger picking guitar because
you did.
I've never actually recorded anything.
No, and you wanted to for ages. You wanted to fit a lot of acoustic stuff into the last EP, but
it was there. It was in the mix. It was just like no one could hear it.
No, just an added little.
It was just for
sprinkle.
me, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, sprinkles, sparkles.
The sprinkles and sparkles are my favourite.
Twinkles are actually the term.
Twinkles.
I like twinkles. Yeah, that's the funniest part. Chase bliss pedals. That's the thing that's common as well. Is those pedals do genuinely have a sound, and they're like voices off the first EP. I swear that's got the Thermae on it. I'm sure it does. I can't remember.
Yeah, it does.
It might do.
It does.
Anyone who knows what I'm on about would probably even know that sound. To be fair. But like, who the hell's going to know what the Thermae pedal is? It's quite niche, isn't it?
It's a good pedal. It's one of my faves.
Yeah, I'm trying to think as well. There's one thing that's different as well. There's no real keys, I don't think, on this. Well, there's fake keys, there's fake glockenspiels and stuff. So ruining it now. They're not even real.
It's all fake. It's all fake.
The drums are real though.
Yes.
It's true. Hamish played drums.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good old Hamish.
Good old Hamish. Hamish Wilkinson. Almost forgot your name there, Hamish. With Jay Taylor, who did his engineering tricks on the.
We have a nice group of friends and family who either help us out with the actual music, or like our friend Chun listens to everything first. We send him.
That's actually something we should mention. To be fair, is that it is genuinely, because this is our first ever video, so people might be watching this for this reason. Yes. We genuinely are fully independent. Like there is no label, there isn't no trust fund either. No. Bankrolling it.
We work 5 days a week, and then every waking moment, weekend, and just in that studio,
it's
doing
pretty
everything
knackering,
almost single-handedly.
It's fun, and that's the most important thing. And we have a little slogan, this thing that, to be honest with you, I thought I came up with it, but apparently Amy came up with it. But I think I came up with it. We're here because we have to be. I was so badly
You can't even remember it.
But that's not meant in like a negative, miserable way. Like, we're here because we're not dead. I don't mean it like we're going to kill ourselves. It's more like
about doing social media stuff, because we're not social media people. We don't have it. I don't have. We don't have Instagram.
No, she's an addict.
I was. I'm recovering now. I don't use social media at all anymore. So I think we were worried about posting stuff, and that's why I think our presence hasn't been as big. Or as we had these really cool photographs and these cool concepts for our last EP, but we didn't do it in the right way because this is all new for us. I'm sure it's new for a lot of people who don't really know what they're doing, but we came up with. I don't
like the premise of social media, so that's the thing.
Yeah.
But then it's a bit of one of them things though, where I used to, especially like the TikTok thing, which if you've watching this, you'll have seen that we actually have started doing that kind of thing, which I kind of feel is a bit like devil's work, but at the same time,
it's very useful.
You kind of can't not do it. I just heard the voice outside. You can't like not do it. So
no.
And at the end of the day, we want people to hear these songs.
Yeah.
So if we have to do that, and I don't mean that like it's a chore. It's actually not. I actually quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think we started off as it not being a chore, and we were kind of like not like we thought like we don't want to do it that way.
Fundamentally, we don't use it. I think that's the main thing. Is like I thought, why would I need to do it? Because I don't do it, which is probably selfish because I'm not like everyone else. Or not everyone's like me. Is what I mean. So I kind of thought, well, I wouldn't I've never found a musician through social media.
No, I'm kind of missed
myself.
that.
So like, why would I do it? But maybe I'm the weird one. I think lots of people actually do, and especially TikTok. You know, everyone's saying that. I don't think we really like Olivia Rodriguez. Rodrigo, sorry.
Rodriguez.
Whoever she
you
is.
see how relevant we are. We know
You can
we
see
know all
how
the
down with the
pop
kids
stars.
I'm
still listening to the same music I listened to when I was 13 years old.
still listening to the same music that was released for 40th before I was born. So
we didn't go to school together, but we would have been best friends at school. We would have been.
In fact, I don't just listen to old music. I listen to what's his face, Harp. That's a good album. They've gone totally off topic at this point, really. This is
But it's an
basically just a
insight
ramble.
into what we do and who we are as people.
That's the point. Apparently, people like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I almost swore then, but
No,
I didn't.
Not in this video.
It's really hard, honestly. I swear so much to keep this together. That's why if I've stumbled, it's because I'm trying to undo.
And if
the
I
word
pull
in
a
my head.
face, I'm waiting for him to say it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, he might
So yeah, the temptation now to just say every word under the sun is
then
so hard. So we should probably end it here because I'm gonna go on a rampage.
Yes.
But
thank you so much for joining us in our living room this evening. Thanks so much for listening to us talk about Home for the Found. It will be out after this, before this video.
3 weeks before, to be precise.
From this day today, so...
No, 3 weeks before it goes out.
Yeah.
It'll have been out for 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, it's not been out.
Songs that have been
It's
out
just
yet.
after Christmas, and it's my birthday next week,
Yeah,
so I'm
it's
all
whatever,
confused.
the 5th or 6th of January. 6th.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
And like and subscribe and all of that stuff. Didn't swear again, that was really hard.
That was very good.
All that stuff that people are meant to do.
Yes.
Buy the record because that really does help us out.
It really does.
There's only 100 copies. In fact, there's actually technically 87 copies currently because they've already sold 13 of them. Of the record. Yeah, in fairness, it's actually pretty cool. So I'd buy one. It's on splatter vinyl. It's like proper
really
hipster
cool.
and everything.
Really
And go and buy the merch as well. Because to be honest with you, I don't really know how it works, and I really, really want someone to buy it so I see how much they charge me.
Yeah.
Because it's all a mystery.
Don't all go and rush at once. Because we could be
just be
destitute by
patient
the end.
because they're not automatically fulfilling themselves because I don't want to get in debt with a printful. So just bear with us. But still, if you do want to buy something, go for it. Buy the coasters. That way it's not that much.
Coasters are cute. No. Just for us.
Terrible promotion. Buy the cheapest thing on it because that might mean that I don't get out of pocket. Because last time someone bought something, I ended up paying more than they paid.
True.
See, we are really at the beginning of our career. But
it's really good
I
fun.
think you
And we
all
love
enjoyed
doing
that.
this, especially together.
Oh, it's pretty sick, yeah. She's a bit annoying, but, you know,
He's really
what can you
annoying.
help?
No, you can't
You know,
help. Can't help
give and
how annoying
take,
he
innit?
is. It is give and take. You're such a...
I'm only here because I have to be. So, we're really rambling at this point. We should end it.
We should end this.
How do we end a video?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Tune in next time when
Tune
we talk
in a
about
month's
our next EP.
6 weeks' time.
Name to be revealed in that video. But thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. That was better.
In this world, that I'm all alone in this world.